Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Welcome to Dork Duck Daily. It's 9:05 a.m. We almost did it. We're close.
I was up until 4 a.m.
Yeah, Selena had trouble sleeping last night and is feeling all the bore of a Monday this morning. But like, it's done really good for her because it's like we're still up and we're going. And you were just like not sleeping last night.
No, I just couldn't sleep early-ish, and then I was just like perusing the internet, and then I like stressed myself out. Not really stressed myself out, but like found out information that was vaguely stressful, and then I just like panicked for like an hour and then tried to go back to sleep, or tried to go to sleep because the first attempt was unsuccessful, and then I couldn't sleep for like another hour, I think, after I tried to go to bed the second time.
Is that when you woke me up?
Yeah, and then I fell asleep shortly after, but like your show was like, I was like weirdly invested in your show, your podcast you were listening to, because you put on Jaws, like the blank check was talking about Jaws.
Yeah, because they're covering Steven Spielberg movies
and
right now.
And that's like my favorite movie, so I was just like, wow, this is really interesting. I'm listening to it, and then I just laid there. I was like, this is counterproductive. And then my body was like, all right, you can't really take it anymore. God, our dresser looks ridiculous. I need to go through our clothes and like...
Here we go.
Yeah, just shut that door.
Problem solved.
It actually does solve that problem.
Someone hopped in the show I did by myself. Someone hopped in. You know how, like, people will like come in and just like say comments trying to like anger someone.
Yeah.
And it was like, which we don't get too much. We've had like, I think 2 times in the history of the show, and this was like time number 2.
Yeah.
And someone came in. They're like, "Do you ever even clean your room?" And I was just like, I did respond while the show was on. I was just like, "Hi, what's up? Yeah, it's messy." But then I was also just like, the person who would react to this is not here right now, man. Just like.
Also, if you asked me the same question, I would be like, no, because the rest of my house looks great, but my room is the one spot that I'm just like, I never get to, because it moves. We move stuff around in here so much. Like, we have our comic book show on Wednesday, and in which there are comic book boxes all over the floor. And then it's like that computer screen and that computer moves around so much. And then it's like there's a semblance of shit happening back here.
We need places for things that are also mobile. Like,
don't do this to me, because you tell me we need places for things, and then I started places for things. A system in which...
That's where Squishmallow Mountain goes.
Yeah, no.
I like how you moved them all out of there, and you're like, no more Squishmallow Mountain. I was like, okay. And then like 2 weeks later, it was back.
Yeah, because where else am I going to put them? No. I made a system where things go. And now I find our like bowls, like our strainers, in the most random spots when they have a whole drawer. I've given up, because
yeah,
I don't.
It's not
The
craziness of this room specifically is I need to think through it, and I need to like the comic book bins, I need a place for them to like go into between the shows and then come out for the shows, you know. And like it's not, I'm not someone who's very good at thinking through those types of organization, but that's the kind of stuff that we need. And then like that computer right now, I'm not paying for internet at the shop because, you know, we're trying to save some money. So this computer back here behind me, I have to bring home every weekend so that Andrew can remote into it and do all the ordering and stuff. And because when I'm at the shop, we're just running internet off of our phones, and obviously we're not going to leave our phones at the work over the weekend. That wouldn't make any sense. So, This is Mount Squish is an icon of this brand. May we never forget the soul's loss of the Squish Avalanche in 2024. Sam also said, sorry that you couldn't sleep. I don't know
Oh,
if you
it's
saw
okay. I did it to myself.
that.
Kind of. Not really. I hate blaming myself for my reaction to stressful information because it's not my fault, but I did that thing where like I was like I should just go to bed and get off my phone, but then I didn't. And that is what um sealed the deal for me.
Because you were on your phone and like,
Well, yeah, if I had just set my phone down, I wouldn't have found out the stressful
yeah,
information.
I guess. You can tell me afterwards what the
Oh,
stressful
I don't
information-
care. I can
No?
talk about it. I just figured out my ex had a TikTok. I didn't know he had a TikTok.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I never checked before. I just like assumed that he would attempt to contact me or at least like look at my stuff so I would find out that he had it through that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, and then I was like, well, I should probably look it up to block him on other things too because there's like a new social media like Blue Sky and like
Yeah.
Red Note and stuff. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just block him on all this stuff. And then I was like, I never checked if he had a TikTok. He has a TikTok.
Yeah.
It's not. He doesn't post very often. It's more problematic that he follows a bunch of women who look underage
Sure.
or might be underage girls. I don't know. And also there's like
Yeah, Sam says, I don't know, him being on an app primarily used by children checks out.
yeah, and then like there's girls or a singular girl, I guess, interacting on his post, and I'm just like, I feel it's my civic duty to say something, but also I'm just like, I don't know in what context.
Legally, like, yeah, you.
And I can't just be like, hey, random person who may or may not be interacting with him, like, this is this. Like, it's such a weird slippery slope of like,
Legally, if you're informing one person, I think it stumbles into harassment real quick. But like, if you're informing lots of people, like if he ever gets an audience,
in like a
scattershotty
broad
type
sense,
of
which
way,
is
yeah.
weird. You would think that would be the part that's like harassment and not just informing one person. But
I mean, it's the thing where you wouldn't know of this person unless you were like stalking the
I guess
media
that's true.
and then interacting with the person, and that's what, yeah. If it was happening likewise, like we would be using that as reasons to like extend the PPO and stuff. You can't do that stuff.
I can't be like, hey.
Don't regret. I'm not a lawyer.
I'm not going to. I'm just saying,
I've
like, it's really weird to me that, like, because I'm trying to think back to, like,
the ethics get and feel murky real quick because, like, you're also like, well, you feel like you have, like, a duty to this person.
like my moral obligation to be like, hey, watch out, but also
we did that story the one time where that was my favorite with like the girl who just hid the note. She's like, I know he won't clean this place after I move out, so I'm leaving this note for the next person.
Sure. No, I guess it was just like the realization that like he is just out there living, not really like feeling like he should not be on the internet. Like,
yeah, I think where I personally would draw those lines, and like this is not legally probably where those lines are supposed to be drawn, but like where I would like figure out where I would navigate it is just like if he was dating someone who had kids, then I would be like, I would risk.
110% I would. And then if anything came back at me, I'd be like, here's this, and this is why I told them this. Like,
yeah.
Also, this isn't me like, take me to court. I don't care. But like, if that could get me into court with him and not the fact that he did all the stuff he did when I was underage, like if that's what, like if that gets us in a courtroom, that's kind of insane. Like I would laugh, like not because it's funny, just because I'd be like, really, like this is where we are, where you you're the one suing me. Okay, cool.
It's yeah.
No, I've never like I don't know. I always struggle with that because it's like I do feel a like duty or obligation or whatever to be like, hey, this person is dangerous, but I don't want people harassing them. I don't want people like attacking them. I don't want people like pushing them off the internet or something, or being like Pancake wants in. She just opened that door.
People are the people like that are slippery, but like one of the things if they do end up catching official charges is they don't let them be on the internet for these reasons because it's just like it's too dangerous. And it's too hard to monitor like who they're talking to, what's going on, all that stuff. But there's also, it is what it is. I understand. I'm really sorry that was going on last night. And that sucks. But the rest of the world's on fire, and except for here where it's -10, so it's like the rest of life is great.
Cool.
It feels like it's -10 outside today. Here. It's officially 6, I think.
I don't know. I haven't checked the weather.
Is the degrees outside, but it's 6 degrees outside, but feels like -10. And that's today, and then tomorrow it will be -6 outside and feel like -20 or something. So, the whole feels like thing as a official weather measurement always cracks me up. Like that doesn't seem real or like science where they're just like it feels like -10. Like they just call it -10. Like what are you talking about? This whole feels like thing. But it's because of wind chill and like other factors and stuff. Sam says you need more blankets. It's cool. Well, the shop is closed today because it's always closed on Monday, and then I made the decision to close tomorrow, because I don't want anybody dying coming out to get comic books. It's like I love comic books. Comic books are great. No one needs to get frostbite to get comic books. So, and apparently you're not supposed to be out tomorrow longer than like 10 to 15 minutes, or like you just frostbite will set in. So that's where I'm just like, maybe we don't. But then you always like go back and forth wildly because then I go like, oh man, if I'm not open though, then maybe someone who needs to wander in can't wander in, and that it's really tough to make those calls sometimes. But ultimately, I think, and I've tried to communicate several times that like, hey guys, you can stay home. This is it's too cold, and I think the kids are more than likely not going to have school tomorrow too. Hopefully they cancel today and don't wait till cancel tomorrow, because then our phones are going to ring off at like 5 a.m. It's like the kids aren't even here.
Yeah.
Other Sam says, do a special day where Human Torch and other fire-related superhero comics are on sale. That's not a bad call. I've instead just been like constantly making graphics being like, hey guys, the store's gonna be closed with Mr. Freeze. That's been my move. But yeah. Do you want to cover news? There's so many like wonderful and not at all terrible things happening in the world right now.
I mean, yeah, sure. That's what we're. I don't know. You lost me. Sorry.
Every day we bring you all the news you nerd in a whole segment we like to call the Daily Quack. I gotta pop out of the chat. It's been a weird
I'll be
weekend.
right back.
Trying to make sense of all of the stuff going on and the stuff going on um with TikTok. I know neither neither of us were like not TikTok users, but we were also weren't. It's like we weren't in the position of people that like, oh man, we make all our money on TikTok. Like we would have that kind of impact hit us if they shut down Facebook. Um, weirdly enough, we would be in the crosshairs of like, but that's where we make our money. um, we've to be fair, we have tried to make money on other platforms and stuff. It's just for whatever reason, where it's worked out for us is we make a lot of our money by being on Facebook. Um, and Sam says TikTok really shot itself in the foot here. I don't think the platform will ever be the same after this weekend. Um, yeah, I don't know that they had a whole lot of other moves though either. It's a weird. All right, we'll get into it. I'm gonna read this story because it somewhat encapsulates um some of what's going on. Um, all right, this is from The Verge. Emma Roth. It says TikTok is back, but where are Marvel Snap, CapCut, and Lemon8? Several ByteDance owned apps still aren't working for users in the US, and like TikTok, they aren't available on the App Store or Google Play either. TikTok has returned, at least partially, in the US following a nationwide ban, but other popular ByteDance owned apps, such as the digital card game Marvel Snap, video editing app CapCut, and the social media platform Lemon8 are still blocked. None of these apps, including TikTok, are currently available to download on the Apple's App Store or the Google Play Store either. Though many users expected CapCut and Lemon8 to be affected by the law banning TikTok, Marvel Snap's ban took some by surprise, including its own developer. On Sunday morning, the game studio Second Dinner said in a post on X, "The outage is a surprise to us and wasn't planned. Marvel Snap isn't going anywhere. Marvel Snap is published by Newverse, a game developer that is owned by ByteDance. Users trying to open Marvel Snap, CapCut, and Lemon8 will see a message similar to the one TikTok displayed when it went dark Saturday night. A law banning CapCut has been enacted in the U.S. The pop-up inside CapCut reads, "Unfortunately, that means you can't use CapCut for now. Rest assured, we're working to restore our service in the U.S. Please stay tuned." TikTok, along with several other ByteDance-owned apps, shut down in the U.S. just hours before the federal divest or ban law went into effect on January 19th. The ban also affects TikTok Studio, TikTok Shop, Seller Center, Hippic, Lark Team Collaboration, Lark Rooms Display, Lark Rooms Controller, and Goth AI Study Companion. I didn't know what any of those things were. Both Google and Apple display notices to users trying to search for ByteDance-owned apps, while the Play Store says downloads for this app are paused due to current U.S. legal requirements. A banner of the App Store notes TikTok and other ByteDance apps are not available in the country or region you're in. It's still not clear when Marvel Snap, CapCut, or Lemon8 will start working again, or when they'll reappear in more mobile app stores. To me, the most devastating one is CapCut. I honestly would have taken like leave TikTok off and bring back CapCut. I mean, like it's been a problem for a very long time that prior to CapCut doing its thing, Adobe had kind of successfully elbowed out all the competition for video editing on Windows platforms. Like they have plenty of competition over on Apple and Mac, but like on Windows platforms, they have managed to elbow out all of the competition. So you're kind of forced into using into using Adobe for a lot of stuff, and then there's kind of like a constant flow of like, well, here's a new one that's free. Just kidding, you have to pay for this now. Here's a new one that's free. Just kidding, you have to pay for this now. CapCut was in like its final stages of functionality before payment, but even so, that payment was $5 a month or something, as opposed to the the Adobe suite. Is I don't even want to think about how much I used to pay for a full Adobe suite. It's nasty. And so CapCut was very useful. And honestly, as someone who has Adobe and Other Sam says Humble Bundle has a video editing software bundle at the moment that me and Other Sam use. It's like $30 or something. You get it forever. I might have to look into that. Yeah, because the like CapCut, like, for being the like less robust software supposedly than Adobe Premiere, it can do a lot of stuff and like very intuitively that like Adobe Premiere cannot do. And then it can do a lot of stuff that you would then need Adobe After Effects to do. And then it lives in the same give and take language that every other app and program that we use, whereas Adobe has its like own set of like, this is how we do things here. Learn this or get out. Good morning, Shiki. So good morning, Rampage. Says it's 5 degrees here. I'm pissed. Yeah, it's cold. It's nasty. It's 5 degrees, but it says it feels like it's -10. So be careful taking the dog out. Yeah, so the it's not cold enough. I don't know about that. But yeah, I was more upset about the CapCut of it all, and CapCut not coming back while TikTok is itself annoying and frustrating. I will say again, like, I don't know that they had better moves here. I mean, if you look at the law that every branch of government signed, both Republican and Democrat, everything else, the penalties for such towards companies like Apple, towards companies like Google, towards anyone who like serviced any traffic for any of this stuff, were nasty, and they were like exponential. Because the penalties weren't like, hey, you didn't turn that off, here's your fine. It was like, hey, you didn't turn this off, here's your fine for every single piece of traffic that went through. And so, unfortunately, they were in the position that until they got a written confirmation from someone that, hey, and you had one administration that was like, hey, by the way, we're not going to enforce this. But that doesn't mean that like that traffic isn't being like calculated as it's going through. And so it's like you could have one administration say, hey, we're not going to enforce this, and then the next administration say like, okay, well, we are, and here's all of these fines and climbing from things going through. So you needed at least one person to like be like, hey, yeah, this is specifically how this is going to be handled, and we're not going to be punishing the people that. But even said, I looked at that and I was like, I don't know how legally binding that is when it's a Truth Social post. But like, you got to go on what you got to go on, I guess. But if you notice, that was enough for like ByteDance to turn their servers back on and the Oracle servers to turn back on, but that wasn't enough for Apple and Google to be like, yeah, this is okay. And it cracks me up, everyone who's just like, well, this is just a stunt. This was all a stunt that TikTok did. And I'm like, yes, you're so right. TikTok coordinated the Supreme Court and and all of Congress.
Notifications?
What?
Do you get Discord notifications?
Yeah. Why?
Oh, weird. Okay. No, it's all good. I just was really confused.
Oh.
Because, like, normally they go off, but I didn't see any pop up.
Oh, they don't.
And my Discord isn't updating, so.
They specifically don't. Sorry, I didn't see those. They don't pop up while streaming.
Well, mine aren't, like, popping up at all, so that's what I was like. I don't know if it's just, like, my phone decided it's at 4%, so it might just be like, you can't send anything because I'm on battery save.
The low power mode or whatever.
Who knows?
Good morning, Shiki. Rampage says Maze has been playing in the snow all morning, and I've been trying to drag him inside with another stick he found. Yeah, bring the stick inside. Play with the stick inside. It's too cold. But yeah, the Marvel Snap stuff is crazy because they had no idea what was going on with that. And then it just like the developers didn't even know. They just woke up to their game not working at all. So, also, you're fine. You're allowed to take up space. I said you're allowed to take up space.
Oh no, you're good.
But yeah, this whole thing's such a mess. Sam said TikTok really shot itself in the foot here. I don't think the platform will ever be the same after this weekend. I think that's true, but I also don't. I think they were playing the cards that they had. There's also a good chance like that they are willing to sell and wanting to sell, but no one was going to give them a fair offer while it was like, hey, you have to sell or go away. And they had to show, they maybe to increase their hand had to show that they were willing to go away. And then now people are like, whoa, 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 here we go, you know. But I also don't think selling makes a whole lot of sense to them, since we only make up 10% of their market share. But then if production-wise we make up the majority of it, then yeah, I don't know. On the bright side, all of the TikToks that Canadians and people in the UK made and people in Australia made while we were dark for 14, 15 hours cracked me up a lot. Those were really funny. Y'all were talking shit about us, thinking we wouldn't be back. But yeah, I will check out that Humble Bundle because I think CapCut is the biggest loss for everything. And like, as much as I like TikTok as a platform, TikTok can go away. And but CapCut is a much bigger loss, which is part of why everyone's like, why does TikTok not feel the same right now? Like, what's weird is like, guys, CapCut is gone. Like, nobody, all of the meme videos you used to watch, all the this, that, and the everything, and a lot of the silly stuff that was on TikTok was because of CapCut, and nobody can make any of that shit right now. All right. Donkey Kong looks old school in new Mario Kart, and not everyone's happy. This is from Kenneth Shepard over at Kotaku. Other Sam says, my favorite meme I've seen over the TikTok stuff is Americans banning TikTok, and it was the SpongeBob scene where they lock SpongeBob and Patrick up. Yeah, I saw that. Shut the door immediately and open it and say, okay, you're free to go. Yeah, it did feel that way. Nintendo finally unveiled the Switch 2, giving us some bits of information and plenty of new cause for speculation, but the only game we saw was the next Mario Kart. Fans are already calling the kart racer Mario Kart 9, despite having no official title yet. Though we only saw a few seconds of the game, fans are combing through every frame and speculating about things like the possibility it will support up to 24 players or maybe have an exploration mode. But one thing folks are hyperfixating on is the updated character designs. I gotta be honest, I sat there and watched that trailer. I was like, oh, is this the old Mario Kart? I did not recognize it as a different Mario Kart. Donkey Kong's, in particular, is one of the bigger departures, significantly changing how the gorilla has looked for decades. Donkey Kong has had a few redesigns since its debut in the original 1981 Donkey Kong arcade game, along with the character carrying the Donkey Kong moniker getting the design most people know today, the one with the muscular build and jaunty red tie in 1994's Donkey Kong Country. If you want to see more of that, Sam is currently playing that on Sundays. Boom. Boom. There we go. Yeah, was last seen playing Donkey Kong Country. Every Sunday morning, he's gonna be doing that for a while. He thought he thought he was gonna get through the first game in like 2 weeks, and that game's hard. We have a friend who popped in who's like, yeah, I play this every year on stream, and I beat it in like 70 minutes, and it's like I'm not sure I've ever fully beaten that game because it's hard. Well, the tie actually surfaced a few months earlier in the outstanding 1994 Game Boy game Donkey Kong 94. But Donkey Kong Country popularized his new look. Oh, and his character is actually the grandson of the original Donkey Kong, now known as Cranky Kong in most modern Donkey Kong and Mario games. Got all that? Donkey Kong has looked pretty much the same since Rare put out Donkey Kong Country in 94. But it looks like Mario Kart 9 might be a turning point for the character, as he now resembles his Super Mario Brothers movie iteration, as well as harkening to 2D illustrations by Nintendo artists Shigeshi Nakai and Shigeru Miyamoto's original design. I'm gonna try to. Oh, there we go. Let's do the web stuff. That's not helpful. You see him. Do you have a GTA related story today? I didn't. Do I need one? I can, if there's something I should talk about. He looks sleep deprived. He does. He does look like looks like he's seen some things. The poor dude. That's the new Donkey Kong in the bottom left there.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks like he's like gotta get that bread. Gotta just fake it to make it. Nintendo's getting rid of the rare Donkey Kong design. Holy shit. I'm surprised. I'm surprised and glad that people are like just like, okay, cool. And not like angry. These all seem pretty positive. Gonna DM you 1 second. Okay. Whoops. Boom. But yeah, so no more rare design. End of an era with Donkey Kong. It is interesting. Like, I wonder how those conversations go, and it's just like I get the movie being a thing of like, hey, everything should look like the movie. Wingspan goes under the sea for Finspan. You know the bird game we play?
Oh, kind of.
The board game.
I mean, we haven't really played it.
We played the Xbox version.
We played the Xbox version. I've never actually played the board game.
Yeah. We should just play that. It's just sat up there now for like.
I mean, we did get the okay. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So it's fine because a gift, and then
It was a gift for my oldest, and then they just never got into it, and then it's just sat in our board game drawer, and then
like,
they were here
do
for a
you
week.
care if we like open it and play it? They were like, I don't care.
Sam says, "Oh, thank you for the shout out. I've been working. What did I do? I was just talking about the history of how Donkey Kong looked, so it would be really silly not to shout you out while you're playing through those games." But yeah, Wingspan goes under the sea for Finspan.
Wait, what's the next story?
Whatever Shiki is sending in.
No, the one after that. Like, what did you have for today?
This stuff that streamers are being named, and it's a story that's gonna make you mad.
Great, because I want to be even angrier. It's, I don't know. Okay.
But this is happy news.
That's what I was like.
From Charlie Teal over at Polygon.
I just have a lot of like.
You can talk through thoughts.
Tired.
You're tired.
Yes.
I love you.
I love you too. I'm just like this is a good story. And then the Donkey Kong one was good. The TikTok one, I was just like,
You don't have spoons to discuss TikTok anymore.
Not really. Like, I'm mad about it, and like, it's like every time. I've been not even like trying to log into Facebook or anything, because like everybody on Facebook is just like, ha ha ha. They went from like, oh, y'all are like silly for being upset that TikTok is gone, to being like, it's never coming back, to like, oh, it came back, but there you go. Now y'all are gonna be okay because TikTok is back, and you have like an unhealthy. It's just, there's too much discourse.
The people with an unhealthy Facebook addiction commenting on people's unhealthy TikTok addiction. Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't.
Yeah.
I logged on to wish my best friend a happy birthday, and
you should have.
No, I totally should have. It was just like, I did that, and then I was like, well, I'll scroll for a hot second, and then that was yesterday though. That was like last night. I finally managed to be awake at midnight, because normally I'm asleep before then.
Mm-hmm.
But I was awake at midnight, and I made it at 12:01, and I texted her at 12:01 to wish her a happy birthday. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm a minute late. And then I made the post, and it was like 6 minutes late, but I'm still happy about it.
No. Yeah, I was like, I think I just like shout her out, I would have to remember her exact.
I think I would, but I think I would remember it, but I
just don't remember how to spell it. That's where I was at. Yeah. Yeah, because I can give her a gift sub too.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
But I can't figure out.
Hold on.
Any hoodles.
I can do it.
Wingspan.
Okay, never mind.
No, you can do it.
No,
I was just gonna talk while you did it.
I need the computer to do it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what was happening. Here, let's do this. Sorry, we're gonna we're gonna pause everything.
I'm sorry. Do you not want to?
To gift our friend a gift. No, I do. That's why we're doing it.
Okay.
I was just.
The way you said that was really confusing. You're like, we're gonna pause everything. It's like, oh. Which we should. Hold on. How do you?
I gotta give a specific viewer. There we go.
I think it's the first. Hold on. It's the first. Wait. Yeah, it's the first one.
That one?
Yes.
Either that or we're giving it to some random person.
No, it's them.
There you go.
I don't know if they directly want to be shouted out or not.
It's their birthday.
But like, it's their birthday. So they get a gift sub.
So they get a gift sub.
They're not. I don't think super active on Twitch, but if you know them and you see them or
they
hear
should
them
stream
today,
though.
They should. But wish them a happy birthday.
Subscriptions.
What?
The thing switched while it happened, and it didn't stay for. I don't know. I've got to fix a lot of those alerts. So the alert happened halfway, and then it rotated through, and then it happened again.
Oh.
So it was like Dork Duck gave Midnafi 1 subscription, but then it happened at that point. So, all right. Thank you for indulging us for that. Wingspan. Elizabeth Hargrave's breakout board game about birds has been unstoppable. Well over 1 million copies have been sold, and it even led to a sequel in 2024 about dragons called Wormspan. Wormspan's also amazing. If you like board games, highly recommend either of these. They're kind of complicated, but there's an Xbox or Steam version you can play too. And it's just like they go hard in the paint for like, here's all these different types of birds, and then they're all real birds that you can like learn and like collect during the game, and it's great. However, much like its predecessor, Wormspan, however, it faces a tough dilemma of providing both recognizable gameplay that appeals to fans of the original title while also trying to carve out its own identity and offer something new. Finspan fits comfortably alongside its predecessors. It's designed by David Gordon and Michael O'Connell, with Hargrave returning as the credited developer. Players take on the roles of marine researchers seeking to discover a wide range of aquatic life and observe their activity. Over 4 rounds, each mapping to a week of research, players will dive into the waters of their personal habitats, discover fish, and gain various benefits. That looks great. I'm excited.
I still need to just like get. There's like I can't. I like birds more than I like fish, anyways. I like fish. I think fish are cool, but I can't afford to be obsessed with 2 things like that. It's taking up all of my brain power to learn how to play Wingspan. I guess if I learn how to play Wingspan, Finspan will be relatively different.
Yeah,
but still the same.
Wormspan, the gameplay is like slightly different, but like if you know how to play one, it's much easier to learn how to play the other.
Yeah, I've never played Wormspan. Only Wingspan, and it was on the Xbox, so it was like a slightly different.
Yeah, because you had someone there like sitting and. Good morning, Vince. How are you doing this morning? Also, look at this. It's so beautiful. Have you played Wingspan or Wormspan yet, Vince? We should bring Wingspan over. Although we have to play Everdell first, but my favorite is Wormspan, but we only have Wingspan right now. All right. Let's
So this is just gonna make me mad.
Yeah, let's start with the Shiki one.
I don't even want to do the other one then if it's gonna make me mad. Let's just do the Shiki one. I'm already mad today. I don't want to be mad about other things.
That's just life, is that you get to be mad.
That's just my life.
That feels like my life. It's just like I just get to be mad, and then.
Oh. Okay. Cool. Good to know. That's what I. That's the
Vince says either battery is dead or Alter Hurraynator is. Oh no!
In your car?
It's just really cold.
Yeah.
It's the battery. It's really cold, man.
I bet if I go start my car right now, it's not gonna want to. I put gas in my car yesterday and I ran it, which I'm probably gonna try to run my car today because I don't want it to get angry and then not start on Wednesday. But like I know that Jeff is like, I'm not leaving the house. And I'm like, that's fine. You do you. I want to at least run the car to make sure that it stays functional. Because that is what they recommend doing, right? Is at least running your car.
To
like warm it up.
I
Make sure it
don't.
stays
I
like.
thought the wisdom was like, don't do anything. Just like,
Oh, I didn't know that.
but I don't know. But no, cars a bad like. Um, Vince says, yeah, Advance Auto wouldn't replace because I have plastic air intake pieces above the battery and they won't be liable. Okay, so here, here's what you do, Vince. If you have in your town a battery wholesale place, they're called Battery Wholesale. It's a chain that does battery stuff. That's like all they do. It doesn't matter if, I was talking with a guy who his battery is like weird and behind his tire even. It doesn't matter what your situation is. They will install a new battery for free if you buy the battery there. And they will also test your battery, and then you'll be able. That's the cheapest way to find out if it's your battery or alternator. But with it being this cold out, this is car talk with Jeff, by the way. The show's pivoted to car talk. But with it being 5 degrees out, it is 100% your battery. It's not. If the alternator was going out, it could be the alternator, but like more than likely, if the alternator was going out, it would have failed or been failing already over the past week. With it failing with the cold snap, it's 100% the battery. Other Sam said torque too. Vince said I jumped and I'm making my dealership deal with it. No sweat. Already got battery tested and it ain't cold cranking enough amps. Yeah, it's the battery. Shiki says, oh, good, okay. Yeah, it's more likely that your battery was low on juice overall and wouldn't start to cold. You probably just need to replace it. Yeah, this is the weather in which batteries fail. It is too damn cold out there. And again, make plans. Like life and work and business seems to be still operating today. It looks like tomorrow that is not going to be the case. Vince is giving someone the other Sam the wrong credit for the joke. Man. Shiki said I used to live in a valley that got all the winter cold and I had to jump my car so often. Yeah. Sorry to hijack the stream. No, not at all. You're good. We're about to do a whole story that was sent in by Shiki. So, here we go. GTA 6 price. Many in the video game industry hope for $80, if not $100, analyst says. $70 GTA 6 would be the cheapest GTA game ever released. Cheapest being in quotes. This is from Wesley in Poole over at IGN. He says, there's a hope among some within the video game industry that Grand Theft Auto 6 will be priced between $80 and $100, one analyst has said. In a wide-ranging presentation on the state of gaming in 2025, Appian CEO Matthew Ball said Rockstar's guaranteed mega hit could reestablish packed video game prices after decades of deflation despite rampant cross growth. GTA 6 due out fall 2025 on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. It's a long-awaited follow-up to 2013's record-breaking GTA 5. Analysts have projected it will make an eye-watering $3 billion in its first year on sale, with $1 billion in pre-orders before it even launches. It seems likely that GTA 6 will be the biggest entertainment launch in history, with revenue ahead of any film. But how much will GTA 6 cost the gamer? Most AAA video games cost $70 as standard after a $10 price hike that kicked in with the current generation of consoles in 2020. Could Rockstar and its parent company Take-Two use GTA 6 as an opportunity to go higher 5 years later? In his report, Ball reported that some game makers hope GTA 6 will be priced at $80 to $100, breaking the $70 barrier and helping $50 titles to move up to $60, $60 to do $70, $70 to do $80, etc. While this price hike would certainly raise eyebrows with the video game audience, Ball argued that a $70 GTA 6 would be the cheapest GTA game ever released in real terms. That is, when taking inflation into account. In real terms, $91 would be average, Ball said. Packaged game prices have never been lower in real terms than they are today, even though budgets are at all-time highs and player growth is stalled. Ball said in a report, GTA 6 could reestablish packed video game prices after decades of deflation, despite rampant cost growth. Shiki says it's hilarious to me that they think raising the prices to $100, making it too expensive for a large amount of gamers, will make them more money. The tough thing is, like, they're not wrong. Like, if you look at the raw numbers and inflation, video games are the cheapest they have ever been now. That said, I was going to do a YouTube video on all this stuff at one point. And so I started really breaking down the numbers, because the thing they don't actually break down and like look at is like consumers, like actual buying power, right? They're not wrong that video games are inherently cheaper today than, like, you know, I had cartridges that cost $80 to $100 in 1990s money, right? Like, so it's like it is kind of insane that development costs have ballooned up to what they've ballooned up to, and the prices are at where they're at. But that said, like, we as gamers have not asked their development costs to balloon up to what they have ballooned them up to. You know, none of us have asked for that. And if you look at the games that keep consistently performing well over and over and over and over again, are games by smaller teams that come out at $20 or $40, while all of these $70 games like keep coming out and underperforming.
Jeff.
What?
This is completely random. Did you get my message about what I sent you on Facebook Messenger?
No, I saw that you sent me a Facebook message thing when I was opening the
link.
articles this morning.
I sent you a link.
You sent me a link? Do you want me to look at it live on the show?
Maybe. I don't know if it's like relevant news anymore, because I think they announced it yesterday, but it has to do with Twin Peaks.
Okay.
They're releasing it in 4K.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, I don't think it's a steelbook, but
this is a 4K release.
it's on Amazon, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Should we get Twin Peaks in 4K?
Yeah, it's like the seasons, the movie, and...
Is it all 3 seasons in the movie?
I think so.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm excited.
Other Sam says, if they raise the price that much, I'll forget a physical edition and VPN to get it cheaper. Fuck them. Shiki says they are, and people are making less than they ever have before. Yeah, that's consumer buyer power is it compared to like inflation stuff is not in a good place. The problem is these people live in a fucking bubble. This is the problem, is that as the disparity of wealth increases, is like there is a whole, you know, we just covered a board game that I'm pretty excited about, but like I may or may not never own, because it's going to be an $80 board game when it comes out. And that's what board games cost now, is $80. And it's like production costs are a lot. And it's so like some of these costing things make sense, but it just means that it's like I live in a world where it's like I own Wingspan, my buddy owns Wormspan, someone else, you know, will buy Finspan, and then it's like between all of us we can play whichever one, but like there's not a world where any of us own all 3. Other Sam says, yeah, especially since they're going to milk the multiplayer for years and probably re-release it. Yeah. And I think there's almost a stronger argument given how much guaranteed money they're going to make on the back end with online and how much money they make on with online now. There's almost a stronger argument to make this game cheaper. Ball's report has sparked a discussion about the value of video games and the likelihood that Rockstar would actually go through with the $80 to $100 price range for GTA 6. Reacting to Ball's comment, Michael Dowse, publishing director of Baldur's Gate 3 developer Larian, tweeted, "You're not supposed to say this out loud." He continued, "A good company raises in salaries in line with inflation so that their staff don't die or something, but game prices haven't risen with inflation. This isn't the reason the industry is in the shit for now, but it is an uncomfortable truth. On the other hand, the responsibility for a game developer is to make sure the game they show lives up to that promise and that investment from the player." So you even have a Baldur's Gate 3 guy being like, "Yeah, games are too cheap." Which games are not too cheap. They're too cheap in comparison to the insane production that they think that we want and need. And it's like, GTA is going to make money forever. It can make less money. It doesn't have to make all of its money in the first year that it's out. There are a number of burning questions when it comes to GTA 6, including how exactly Rockstar will package the release. With GTA 5, Rockstar threw in its mega money spinner GTA Online for free. Will it do so again with GTA 6? Could the single-player portion of GTA 6 be sold for the standard $70, but if you want GTA Online as well, it should cost you more? That's the thing that just will print money forever. Why would that cost? Oh, it's making me mad. But the thing with other games is they can't guarantee that it's going to print money forever. So they have to make their money more upfront. And if it's a single-player game, primarily, they have to make their money more upfront. But if it's a game that's just going to make money forever, you could come in at a lower price. They could make an announcement that, hey, by the way, if they really want to like come out and do it, like if they put GTA 6 at $40, they're gonna almost nobody is gonna not buy that game, and that's where the market's at. Everything this guy's saying is true, but where the market is at right now is people are fucking broke and worried about filling the fridge more than they are about getting like the new shiny thing. Other Sam says, for a fact GTA 6 is going to have those shark card microtransactions on re-release. Yeah. It's going to have all that shit. Yeah, it makes me mad because it's like it's all like it's all fine. But and everything they are saying is technically correct if you cut out the fact that it's like people are fucking hurting right now. And that's like when the PS5 Pro thing was coming out and everyone was just like, "Oh my god, the PS5 Pro, it's gonna be," and a bunch of us were like, that's too much money. $700-$800 for that thing is gonna come out and not do well. And there were all these people broke down all the ways that it's like, no, it doesn't make it. What you're saying is wrong. Here's all the ways that it makes sense that it costs this money. And I was sitting there going like, I understand what you're saying. That is not the market we're in right now. And then the initial run got bought up by a bunch of speculators because they thought that they were going to be able to resell that thing. And the demand is not there because people are looking around at their video game situations and they're going like, you know what? I got a bunch of old games I can play, or like my system I have is good enough. And there's a lot of people that just still have PS4s and are happy with it. Vince says, yeah, adjusting for inflation is just goddamn insulting. Yeah. It's not true. The problem is like we didn't ask for these teams to blow up to like the amount there's so much wasted spending in game development right now. And it's like, and the crazy thing too is if you pull all these people aside and convince them as that, they would be like, yeah, we pay our workers too much. You're right. And it's like that. No, not that either. like you should pay your workers. You should take care of your workers. Like, one, these people at the top don't need to be paid with whatever fucking piece of shit. Like, I want to know the guy who at Sony took every single of these like award-winning single-player game developed teams and pushed them all to make all these live service games instead, most of which have been completely canceled now, wasting years and years and years of developer time and money and everything else. What did that guy make? Jesus fucking Christ. The problem's at the top at all these places.
Well, I guess now's not a good time to say I'm probably going to start playing Marvel Rivals this week.
The Marvel Rivals is cool. You should play it now before potentially all this stuff, because they're largely owned by a Chinese company too.
Oh.
So
Interesting. I didn't know that.
And now there's precedent to try to take all these things out.
Man, I just wanted to play little
Jeff the Shark.
Yeah, little FPS with Jeff the Shark. And do they have Squirrel Girl yet?
I think so.
Yeah.
They added the Fantastic Four characters this week.
Oh. It's just weird. I've been like putting it off as like this thing that I eventually get to where I'm like, okay, now I can completely sink into this game because like I know that it's either going to be a game that I'm like trying it once and then not being good at it and being like, get that away from me, or I'm going to be like, oh god, this is incredibly fun and I don't want to stop playing it. And so I've tried to get everything done that I needed to get done this week before I started playing it. And
Other Sam says not only do they have Squirrel Girl, PC has a nude Squirrel Girl mod.
That's unsurprising.
He also says to turn off voice chat when you do.
Yeah.
Shiki says he made enough money to pay for those employees' wages and still get a nice chunk of money. Yeah. Yeah. It's the problem at these places is at the top, and these companies that if you look, the most expensive game that's won Game of the Year in like the last 3 or 4 years has been like Astrobot, which feels like a very fully justified at the price that it's at, because that game has so much, and they're making all the DLC free, and it's just like that's where people are at.
I just realized that my tooth, or whatever these are, type of bone earrings that I have.
I think it'd be teeth earrings, right?
Yeah,
Would they be tooth earrings or teeth earrings?
No, they're not teeth. They're like vertebrae from. They're like taxidermy. I don't know what part of bone these are. They're kind of pink though. When I had my hair pink.
Yeah.
It must have dyed them pink a little bit. See?
Oh yeah.
That's kind of concerning. I don't know how to make that not a thing. Like I don't know how to.
Well, your hair hasn't been pink in a minute either.
I haven't worn them in a minute.
Okay.
I couldn't find them. Person who gave Jeff shit for not cleaning our room. I cleaned our room. That's how I found all this stuff. That's gonna be my like motivation to finish cleaning this room. I started last night. There's a basket down there with
But that was what was correct. I was like,
paintbrushes in it.
I was like, the person who would react to this trolling is not here. You're trolling the person who just does not give a fuck. Like, I'm not gonna get upset about.
I don't think I would get upset either. I would just be like, no. Thank you for the reminder.
Other Sam says, wow, you have so many gifts around you. Yeah, that was the first thing they said, which was like a very weird. It was that thing where someone hops in, and then you're like, when did that happen? Sometime last week. It was like right as Sam had to leave too.
Like they said, what? as well? I only heard the part where they gave you shit for not cleaning our room.
They said they made 3 comments. They said hi.
Okay.
Then they said, "Wow, you have so many gifts around you," which was fucking weird.
Gifts? Like GIF is in like
GIFTS. Yeah.
these are gifts?
I don't know. And that was probably them
I
trying.
bought these with my hard-earned money. Thank you very much. These are not gifts.
And then they were like, "Do you ever clean your room?" And I just ignored it.
Maybe it was somebody that was making a joke because I posted a thing on like Threads or something, and also my Facebook. If this was like a while ago, then that makes sense because I posted a thing that was like, oh, something about like your elf girlfriend not wanting to clean her room. And so like maybe it had something to do with that, I guess, depending on what day it was.
It was like Thursday or Friday last week. One of those days I did the show by myself.
I don't know then. Well, if you're doing the show by yourself, that doesn't make sense because why would they come from that post and be like, oh, it's this person doing this stream? That okay. I just thought maybe it was somebody like from that post making a joke, but that's weird.
Other Sam said, "I immediately wanted to sass them, but other Sam was kind and said, 'Hi, welcome in.'" Sam said, "I think you guys are overthinking it. I think it was actually a child seeing toys after Christmas. LOL."
Oh, that makes sense.
Sam said it was Thursday. I bailed because Shiki was streaming on Twitch and Discord, so I was trying not to eat bandwidth. It was Friday. That was Friday that happened. Yeah, it was.
It wasn't last Friday because you missed your stream last Friday. So
No, it was. I streamed the morning show last Friday.
By yourself.
Yes.
Oh.
I was sitting here doing the morning show by myself, and someone was like, "Do you ever clean your room?"
I'd be like, "No." Do you wanna do it for me? Like, sorry.
Last Friday was depressing, not only from that, but also I did the we did the r/relationship advice, and there was like no one here at that point. I don't want to say no one because there's a lot of people that lurk, but like no one that was actively chatting. But I had the sad realization that we're doing so many and am I the asshole?
Me about that.
Yeah, and am I the asshole in relationship advice? We're doing so many stories now that are like couples fighting about food, which means that it's just like people are more worried about food right now
Than they have been.
or than they even have been in the last like 10 months we've been doing this. Like, that's scary and sad that's like what's coming up over again and again and again and again. It's just like, I'm trying desperately to meal plan, but my husband's messing it up is like half the stories because like these women are like terrified of making sure they have enough food.
Yeah, it's like when you put it in that perspective.
Yeah, it's stressful. All right. This is from Diego Peralta at Collider, and
thank you,
and also Lena
for.
Oh, if people want to send me articles, that is the
I did.
worst.
I did. I genuinely did not think you were going to open this article. I thought your entire reaction was what when I said, "Hey, I sent you this article." You're like, "Oh, that's cool." That's what I thought. I didn't think you were gonna open it right now.
I don't know. Shiki says when you say it like that, the husband is even more of an asshole. Yeah. It's just rough because it's like there's like every time I go to find those stories, like, and we try to find the sillier ones, or the ones that are more fun to read, right? In relationship advice, 99 posts out of 100 is just like my boyfriend keeps looking at women on Instagram. Should I hate him? And like there's like a mixed bag underneath of like yes or to kind of yes, right? That is 99% of the posts there. So I'm used to like filtering past all of those and seeing that, but it's just like now it's in my head where it's like, oh man, I used to filter past those and grab these food ones, but like as these food ones are starting to become more and more prevalent, it's just
It's no longer the Instagram baddies that are the problem. It's
it's food.
literally starving.
Uh, Although I thought
I'm very upset with society and the way things are right now.
Shiki says most of them are go communicate with your partner for fuck's sake. Yes. Although there's possibly something a little more insidious at play, because like, um, there's a couple people that have come out since like TikTok was down. TikTok being down for like a day or two caused a lot of people to go fuck with Instagram Reels that hadn't before, and there's like,
Can you like move your head 2 inches to the left so I can read the chat too?
sorry.
This whole time I haven't been able to see it, and it's like you're normally reading it, but I like to be included
Okay.
and able to read as well, because sometimes you don't read it fast enough.
But like there's a number of people, I didn't like read any of it because like none of it seemed like super grounded in hard science, just like the vibes, right? But there's a number of people that are like, hey, when you go over to Instagram Reels, like it doesn't really super matter what your algorithm like leans towards or how much you try to push it in one direction or another. Like if you are a dude, you are going to get
Oh yeah, I seen that last night too. There was a video, one of the people that I think I must follow them on TikTok or something, but they popped up and it was like, even if, yeah, like basically she made a video about it like a while ago, and then guys were commenting and being like, even if I don't interact with these types of content, and even if I don't like, even if I'm not telling the, or even if I'm telling the algorithm I'm not interested in this, like they'll hit not interested,
and it just
and it
keeps
still
showing
keeps
it
coming.
to them. And like the
At first I thought it was just like men being like, hey, like I'm not doing that, but actually it is.
well, I'm seeing posts of like women going and making an account as that identifies as male on those platforms. And like going and trying to train the algorithm away from the like the thirst trap post, and it just keeps pushing it back. And the assumption is like if there is something nefarious going on there beyond just like whatever, is that it's just like they are specifically almost aiming to like divide men off of like of women and women's interest and stuff, and is just trying to peel and isolate, which is like, again, there's no hard science there. This is all rampant speculation nonsense, which is why I didn't come and read it. But it's like, it is fascinating, and there are people trying to do hard science work with it right now. Like I said, there are women that are going and creating like male accounts so that they can then report on the results that ensue. But that is a speculation, is that over on those other places is that you tend to get that, or tend to get like very right wingy dude go your own way stuff. And as a woman, like the stuff kind of like starts pulling in the direction of like, you should have babies and have kids and
on Reels.
Yeah.
I don't really use Instagram that often, and when I do, I'm only like looking at my friends' like feeds. I'm not.
Whenever I look at a reel, it's an accident. Like I'm always just like, ah.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about reels. They're always something about them. Just I've never been able to get into them, which is weird because the people that like. There are people that only know Reels or only know TikTok as like the regurgitated like Reels. Like people will post something on TikTok and then post it as a Reel, and then they'll be like, someone will send it to either me or like I'll see it on like a news feed or something. It'll be like, but I'd seen that on TikTok with like more engagement. So I don't know.
Vince says, yeah, I'm so used to that being the social media advertising norm. I still remember in '06 at a Christian college getting nonstop ads for Christian dating sites, but the models in the photos were a bit more suggestive than I would have assumed kosher back in that era of my life. And that kind of advertising just seems inescapable. I guess, but it's like I had prior to whatever just happened this weekend, I had my TikTok algorithm almost completely trained that is like I got cats and then I got a bunch of like wife guy shit, a lot of like isn't your relationship great? And like it is great, and then I would send those to Lena
Yeah.
and like it was a lot of that kind of stuff. And don't get me wrong, when I was single lonely dude, because I remember when Emmanuel had to help me like do something with a TikTok, he was like, "It is nothing but thirst traps of girls with dyed hair." Like, why are all these goth women on your feed, Jeffrey? I was like, you know,
You know why.
but like, yeah, it's like once I started like actively using TikTok, like it was like it catered towards what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Um, and so that I could sit next to Selena on a couch and scroll my feed without her being like, "Why the fuck is that there?" Um, and it's like I get the vibe that like, and I don't even look at Instagram Reels. I look at now they are forcing Instagram and Facebook Reels at me on the computer when I sit down on the computer, and it's always just like I can't hear them. It's like I sit down to like grab articles from the show, and it's just like a rail of reels across the top of the
A
thing,
rail of reels.
and it's always just like things that are like super suggestive girl stuff, and I'm just like, what?
It's like, it's a really weird, tricky subject for me because I don't know. Like, I've been permanently damaged, uh, in that area of like, this is weird.
Okay.
I have an OnlyFans. I should, and I do. Like, I advocate for like, yes, post all the thirst traps. Like, get your bag. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
And it's like, by extension, I am not saying there's anything wrong with that, but like, I personally have just been so like, uh, negatively impacted by that behavior in my previous relationship. I almost said relationships, but I've only ever been in one other relationship. That like I have this weird like double um like opinion on it where it's like outside of my trauma, like when like I fully like support that, but it's like in my relationship, like I I would like to be at a point where I'm just like, oh, you want to look at a thirst trap, whatever. Like your TikTok is somewhat on that side of things. Like, cool.
Yeah.
I just am not at that point yet, and like, well, cause I didn't take offense when you were like, I can't sit on a couch next to Selena if my algorithm is just thirst traps, because it's like,
Even if you get to a point someday where like you're cool with that, it's a different story to be doing it sitting next to you, and like then that's the thing is like um it took us a little sorting out because I was a little surprised that um that was where the lines were for you, and it like when we were like folding down from poly into mono, like I thought, and you were doing OnlyFans stuff still. I thought like that was kind of where the line was that like oh she's
I will say it was there. It's really interesting because it's like, I think as I like got more comfortable with you, and like more secure with you, weirdly enough, like it changed because like, and don't get me, it's so weird. I don't know. Like, I'm self-aware enough to realize that like there is something hypocritical, I think, about having an OnlyFans, and in the same hand, like knowing that like you are a man that consumes uh content
Mm-hmm.
of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, and as someone who provides content of that nature to other people,
Mm-hmm.
it's just, I feel like also if I had people on my OnlyFans that I knew were like in a relationship and their partners didn't want them looking at me, I would be like, hey, don't do that. Like, but there's no way to like separate that.
Yeah.
And like, it's just so, it's hard. It's weird and it's hard. And it's like, I don't know that I am healed as a person enough to fully understand why I have that like double opinion, where I know that both things can exist at the same time.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know.
It's okay. Like it's not. It's a messy emotional feelings thing. It's not going to make complete sense. She said, um, wait. Other Sam says, wait. Jeff consumes OnlyFans content and he doesn't sub to mine. Um, Cheeky says, friends sub to each other's OnlyFans. We have run away with the chat. There's so much. Yeah.
I seen
Okay.
it moving out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, "There's going to be
Okay.
much to come back to."
All right. Let's scroll up. Oh wow. Yeah. There is so much. Because we missed. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to find the start of all this. Other Sam said my TikTok is trained to cute animal stuff, food, and boobies. Cheeky said can confirm he sends me all of that except for the boobies. Vince says all this TikTok just makes me mad. I couldn't use CapCut last night. Yeah, we talked about that at the start of the show. It is the most frustrating piece of it all. There's some editing software that both Sam and other Sam really like that's on Humble Bundle right now for $30 that they were highly recommending. Other Sam said, I can send you boobies too if you want to see them later, Shiki. Shiki told him to shut up. Sam said, I'm back. Shiki said, welcome back. Other Sam said, welcome back to boobies, Other Sam. Said, thank you. Oh, Shiki said, yeah, I read that more as an aspect that he's not looking at thirst traps right next to you, not like hiding it. Yeah. That's the thing is like, I don't tend to because it's like she doesn't like it. But like, I definitely, even if she was okay with it, it's not like I'd be like, yeah. Like that just feels weird.
I am aware again that like, I just kind of assume that is content that is consumed by most people. Like, I'm not like in this like, there it's, I don't even know. Like, I live in this like constant, like, I am not saying that like consuming that content in a relationship default is like cheating or something, because I've seen that take and I don't know that I fully agree with it. I think that if you like agree that like, hey, I'm not gonna look at porn, and then you look at porn behind your partner's back, like, I think that's like a betrayal. I
It's
think
wherever
that's
the line of
messed up.
trust is broke. Yeah.
But like, I don't think by default that kind of like, that we're human. Like, I get it. It's like, I'm not, it's just that like I am at a point in my like healing journey or whatever you want to call it, where like, for whatever reason, that's like something that's just triggering to me, and like I
Yeah.
don't know why fully. I have like some level of like theories of why it is, but and it's like I'm not saying that like I'm going to be like, "Oh my god, you can never look at that ever," and like it's just like complete takedown, but it's like I think society has like shifted in a way that I don't know. It's such a hard like topic to talk about too, because then it does come across like I'm being like
It's
porn is bad, and it's not, and it's like it's really not.
it's interesting because I am definitely someone that if I was single, that would probably how other Sam described his feed. That would probably be my exact feed. Um,
Sometimes that's my feed, so
and
because TikTok stopped showing me any like thirst traps of men whatsoever, because there was a time where there was this one like goth dude that used to like chase, like at least to pretend he was chasing women.
yeah, but you have like the Joel thirst traps and
I
stuff.
do
Yeah,
have the Joel thirst traps, but now like I don't even get that. Like to be fair, TikTok is a mess right now and has kind of been a little bit, but like I don't even get that. I do get thirst traps of women sometimes though, and
yeah,
I'm just so it's like I am in no way like judging. I'm just stating that like my trauma is weird and I don't quite understand it, and like
yes.
some things will be triggering to me in a way that I don't get.
It's also been interesting because it's like to figure out because I'm probably on the side where I think things like OnlyFans might be the only ethical way anyone can consume porn. Um, because it's like one of the only ways you can make sure that like the when you're purchasing from the actual person, you that's one of the few times that you can acknowledge that that person has had agency and that's a thing that they are choosing willfully to do and are actually like do it's become such a mess with like so much of that stuff
Yeah.
that it's I probably would be someone who and like just the nature of this relationship I consume less porn than I ever have in my life, but like um I probably would still be someone who would have a number of like running subscriptions still, but like that is the thing that you've like drawn as the biggest line of like no that really bothers me. And so like that's been a little more difficult to navigate and figure out. Um but for the most part it's not a non-issue, but it's also just like I, I'm not looking for high fives here, but like it's not as needed in my life as it used to be. Like
Yeah.
we do stuff quite a bit, so
I think it's this like really part of it is like happened a lot from my ex, where it was like if I'm doing this it's because you're not performing in some way that I want you to be. And like if I don't, if you don't do this, I'm going to go do this. And so that created this like idea in my head that like if like my partner is consuming any level of that, which again, I'm not like I'm not living in fantasy land. Like I know that like again, most people do, and that's fine. But it was this like idea or like standard in my head that was placed from like my teen years too. Like I was being told this as like a teenager, which like I think built the wall of
yeah.
like it built the foundation of like if I'm looking at not if I'm looking at porn, but speaking as like my partner in this situation, if I'm looking at porn, it means you're not doing what I want you to do. And I'm not happy with you, and like you're not performing up to snuff or whatever. Not up to is it up?
Snuff is a whole different kind of video.
That's not what I don't know what the term is when you're
Yeah, no, it
Yeah,
landed though. Yeah,
you're not performing the way I want
which
you
is a
to.
really fucked up. I'm really sorry that happened to you. Like
No, it's
that's
fine. I mean, it's not,
insane.
but like, so I think that's where that comes from. Part of it is just like that I place a lot of like my worth in that category. And so, like I said, it's like I am aware it is not like something that makes sense to feel necessarily.
It does when you go all the way back and
No,
do
no,
that,
like
which we weren't able to do like a year or two ago.
it does, but like it doesn't in the sense that I have an OnlyFans and I create that content. So like by proxy, I should be comfortable with my partner consuming that content too.
Maybe.
But that's what I'm saying. Those like those two things should be able to exist at the same time. But like because of what I've been through,
Right.
it's like there's a foundation there that like sets it in a completely different category for some reason.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know.
No, that all makes sense. I think that you're worried about not articulating this well. This is the best you've articulated it
Oh,
ever.
cool.
So
Great.
it's no, but it's a big, complicated, messy feelings and trauma.
Right, but
thing.
like I am like responsible for my own trauma. I'm not like I shouldn't be like I'm traumatized, so you don't get to look at stuff because like I'm traumatized. Bend to my every will.
Sure, but like it's like part of why this conversation is going so well is because we're talking about it in this instance and not in like conversationally, and it's not like why are you following this person on blah blah blah, and I'd be like, oh, things that I thought were okay that suddenly weren't, and then that then caused us to have these philosophical conversation while we're already fighting, and then it's
Yeah,
like
I think feelings were like already not in a good place at that point.
yeah.
I don't remember this conversation because it was so long ago that like I couldn't tell you where I was at then, but like this is where I'm at now. And like I'm glad I could articulate it properly live on the internet.
Well, it's messy, right? Because it's like I'm sitting here and I'm saying like, hey, I think OnlyFans and stuff is probably the only ethical way that you can probably consume porn.
It just I think
But
feels more like personal.
you have that aspect to it, and it could get odd. It could definitely be more dangerous than regular porn for the person consuming it in that relationship. However, every other version of porn is way more dangerous potentially
For the
for
person, yeah.
creating the porn.
Yeah, 100%. It's yeah.
So it's like it's not fraught with terror. It's just like where are you drawing these lines and picking things, and then also it's like it's still you got to use your brain. I mean, it's like if you're rejecting your partner to go into the other room and do OnlyFans stuff by yourself and that OnlyFans person, like that's shitty. And that's a different story from like just consuming it, whatever, and it not affecting your relationship. But you got to use a brain about it and see when it is and isn't affecting your relationship. Also, this is not me greenlighting like, you know, if your partner has a friend that does OnlyFans and you're like, I'm just supporting your friend. That's shitty. That's shitty and bad.
Unless you've discussed it, like unless you have been like, hey, I don't care. Because like I know people that are okay with that.
Sure.
But like to do that without a prior discussion.
That's a conversation.
Yeah, 100%. As somebody who's had to navigate people with partners subscribing to my OnlyFans that know me personally, it's like I've always been very upfront with everybody involved because I'm just like this is a slope that like I need y'all to be we all need to be communicating.
All right, I'm going to try to catch up on comments.
Okay. Also, though, one more thing.
I'm trying.
One more thing, and then I'll stop.
You're fine. I love you.
Well, I won't stop, but you can catch up on comments. I do think, having said all that, that, like, this kind of mindset should not be used to like stigmatize sex or being sex positive or being like comfortable
Or
with,
sex workers.
yes, or being comfortable with that, being comfortable with your body, being comfortable with like just cuz like I've seen people use the the that kind of thing in like a negative way, and like
Or the way they talk about the women that their boyfriend is following is often
it's like as
pretty derogatory.
hey, as someone who has made makes, I don't know, content, like I've never had anybody directly that I didn't like. I've never had like a random girl be like, "Ah, my boyfriend follows you," and like, "How dare you? You're throwing yourself." Like, I have had like a very personal like disagreement with someone in which my OnlyFans was brought up in a way that was like, "Well, you're just giving it away to everybody," kind of thing. It was so silly. So like, and like, I don't think that should be brought up in a derogatory way in any way, like especially in that context. But it's like you're the girl that's on the other side of the screen does not probably doesn't even know that your boyfriend is taken.
Yeah.
Like that takes a lot of work to like
sit and sleuth that out.
and as somebody like,
And also she's worried about eating and paying her bills. Like she doesn't have time to sleuth out every dude that's going to give
no.
her money. Like
Also 90, maybe not 90, but like 60% of the people that are on mine, I don't even like, I probably know, but like they're not using their real names a lot of the time, or like usernames, like, and that's fine, but like I don't know, it's difficult.
Yeah. Vince found your wood emoji emote and said, "I was today years old when I learned this new dork suck emote exists." And Shiki said, "Dork suck, wrong site, Vince." And then everyone laughed. Shiki said, "I drew that a while ago.
It's beautiful.
I want to draw a better one eventually, though. I love it, though."
I do too.
Other Sam says, "Wait, Jeff consumes OnlyFans content and he doesn't sub to mine?"
Jeff, get on that. Jeez.
Vince says, "Oh shit, Jeff and I already do that with Twitch subs. Do I have to make an OnlyFans so we can do it there too?" Yes. Sam linked to the Humble bundle. Thank you for doing that, Sam. There's a bundle. No promise, $30 for the editing perpetual license. That's normally $200. Shiki says, "Yeah, my ex did that because that was my line, which always stuck with me. It sucked, but it helped me draw boundaries better as an adult. I'm really sorry that your ex was a piece of shit." Vince said, perpetual as in no sub, have software forever. And Sam said forever. I love how I moved these over here so I couldn't see the screen anymore, so you could read them, and then we didn't read them. Okay, I'm gonna do that. No problem. 35. It's usually two. Okay.
What are you good? You just took away the chat and then like,
Yeah, I was
okay.
I was re-catching up. Sam said tech companies have a habit of killing old software when it benefits them, but I'm actively using Vegas 18 years after the bundle I got it from. And Sam said, "I would like to point out OnlyFans managers are as predatory as the ones in parts of the porn industry." Yes. Fair enough.
True.
That's what I'm saying. It's like theoretically OnlyFans is the most ethical way to consume porn, but like who the fuck knows? It is what it boils down to quite a lot. Shiki says it's not inherently bad. It's dependent on the personality of the consumer and the comfort levels of the people in the relationship. It's not childish, hypocritical, or wrong to have specific lines. When you remain in a relationship with someone that has had those lines, you're agreeing to their boundaries. So hiding your consumption of a topic that makes your partner uncomfortable is the wrong thing. There's lines and there's gray. It's maneuvering the gray that's important. Yeah. In the Sam says there have been plenty of girls that have had crazy controlling boyfriends that made them do it. Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of. We were just talking last night about a situation like that. That came up, and it's like usually, if you are looking for it, you can more often than not kind of smell those situations out. Like usually, it's like, yep, I saw that coming. But yeah, it's not like that. OnlyFans spaces aren't also fraught with problems. Shiki says, yeah, nothing is the best, but I think overall OnlyFans and the like are better than revenge porn people post on Pornhub kinds of sites, but there's always bad everywhere we look. Yeah, you got to use your brain, which is rough because it's like largely in those moments you're not really using your brain. But I know, like, for years.
Jeff, I can't see the chat anymore. Can you just make it bigger for a second and then... No, not over... Okay. That works.
Okay, now I gotta... for
I want my screen back. I'll use it this time.
For years, like, anytime... And this is when, like, I consumed a lot of porn, you know, and was, like, a daily porn user... It was like that girls do porn was like, it was unavoidable. Like I was even like trying, not even out of like ethics or anything, but just out of preference. I was just like, why are these videos all I'm ever seeing? And it was all like, it was pushed at me so hard so many times for years. It was like that girls do porn thing. Now all those guys one's fled the country and one's in jail. Because all those girls are like, hey, this was how this was handled. And they're all locked up. But like for years, it was a sanctioned thing. It was a website. It was a website within a website. And they're being reposted on things like Pornhub and stuff. And like that was all for all like expectations and stuff. That was all, quote unquote, at the time, ethically produced. Like within the bounds of the law, and then it turned out it was not at all.
I have a feeling we're gonna get a lot of that kind of thing coming up about OnlyFans and sites like that because, like, Sam is right, that like during the pandemic there was an influx of like very abusive, controlling partners like using their significant other in that way of like, oh well, you should do this, and then I should have. I'm sure it doesn't start with you should do this and I should have control over it, and not never starts that way, but it usually doesn't. But it's just like you should do this, and then I should help you with it. I should have this control over it and this control over it, and then like, oh well, this is what I want people, like what I think people would want to see, and you should do this and you should do that, and then eventually it's like, oh well, I should message them for you and I should do that. Like it just becomes this like slippery slope.
Yeah. Which is like, I've tried to be very, very careful of like, which is sometimes hard because it's like I like do a lot of this stuff and I'm like,
yeah, you're helpful though. You're not like, I want to control it all. You're just like, I want to give you tips on how to like do better. But, you're not like, I want you to do this.
But I also do it. I walk away because it's like, there is a part of my brain that's just like, well, if you got content up Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and do like my brain starts rolling with all of those.
Yeah,
like,
then you become like kind of like if you
a digital pimp.
If you pushed in that category really hard, like it would become toxic. But I think that just being like, hey, I can help you with this if you want, and like, and being very like, if you don't want, like, but then it's like I said, it doesn't always start with just like being overly controlling. They can like wiggle their way into.
Right.
But I don't think that
I've just let it be your thing for that reason. It's just like so fraught with like
yeah, it's
potential
like if
issues.
I am like, hey, what do you think would be a good schedule? That's one thing, but you being like, this should be your schedule and I'm going to make you do this schedule, that would be insane. Pancake, oh my god, hold on. Our cat wants in.
Sam says like, I get what you mean. But if the person is actually controlling the account, yes, they're consenting and better, but OnlyFans became a get quick rich hustle for a lot of shitty people during the pandemic. Shiki said up to par
Yeah, that's what I meant. Was
instead of up to snuff.
But there's another phrase that's like
Similar to that.
up to stuff maybe?
Up to stuff.
I don't know.
Shiki says, until you come to a place where you're comfortable, you actually do get to say that. You get to say, hey, this makes me uncomfortable and I'm working on why. Not so much controlling, but drawing a clear and safe boundaries are something you should be able to do in a healthy relationship. Just like Jeff can. Yeah. Shiki says living through trauma doesn't remove your ability to make boundaries for yourself. Vince says, I was trying to think of a way of articulating that. Yes. Thank you guys for taking care of Lena, because she means a lot to me.
Thank you. Pancake apparently wishes to say thank you too.
Yeah. She got to star in my TikTok yesterday.
Yeah.
Shiki says, I'm feeling loquacious today. That's multiple conversations.
Pancake.
Sam says, well, this has been a riveting stream, but by the time Jeff gets down here, I will be gone. So I'm saying goodbye early. Goodbye, Sam. We love you. We'll be over there in a bit. Vince says toodaloo, and Sam says, I'm still here for a few minutes, Vince. Sam says, just get an HDI splitter for Lena's monitor and clone chat over there. That's been I have one here somewhere, and I'm just going to do it because I offered it a billion times and she said she didn't want it. But now, Shiki said it is actually up to snuff, just not the best term to use with talking about porn.
Yeah, no. My brain was like, that's not it. It can't be that.
Sam says, oh, I actually have to go. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, Sam. We're going to be over there shortly. Selena was very excited when I started to read this article, so I'm going to finish reading it.
Cats. Oh, never mind. Pancake just left. She tried to fit in there with Pete, and Pete was like, no, dude, get out of here.
Said, okay, that timing was perfect for saying bye to Sam. LMAO. Yeah, that's pretty great. All right. This is from Diego Peralta at Collider, who says, following the tragic passing of creative icon David Lynch, many have been hoping to revisit the acclaimed writer and director's body of work. Now, a new 4K box set containing the entirety of Twin Peaks has been announced. The product is called Twin Peaks from A to Z, and it will include every episode of the acclaimed series, created by Mark Frost and David Lynch. Other features that the box set will offer to collectors will be all the chapters from the revival that was released a few years ago, the movie Twin Peaks Firewalk with Me, and many hours of behind-the-scenes footage. I'm in it for that. That I will watch every minute of behind-the-scenes David Lynch footage, please and thank you, and interviews with artists behind the show. Twin Peaks from A to Z is now available for pre-order at Amazon at $69.99. If collectors get their hands on a copy during the pre-order period, they will be able to acquire the box set for... What? Oh, yes. The cats are grooming each other inside a mail tin. It's very adorable.
So cute. Pete loves Pancake so much. That's like... I couldn't figure out if they were, like, dating or if he's, like, surrogate dad or whatever, but I think it's dad.
Yeah, he's dad.
Yeah. And, like, it's just so cute because he just loves her so much. And he's so happy that she's back.
Yeah, he became surrogate dad for the kittens when we brought him in, and then yeah, he's great.
He's so great. I need to take a picture.
Okay. Yeah, Selena will take a picture and post it in the Discord. Also, before I leave, I've been putting a lot of work into the YouTube page. Selena's playthrough of Resident Evil has been going up on there. Please go over there, like, subscribe, do all the things. We're getting videos up 3 days a week. We put a lot of work into editing those down. And it would be a huge help if you could go do everything for the algorithm over there. Because we're putting a lot of work in and we think we're funny. Please go tell us we're funny.
I know I'm funny.
You are funny.
I don't just think I'm funny.
We have raid messages that look like yes. Actually, before I do that, also over here, patreon.com/dork Duck. Is patreon.com/dorkduck is the best way you can support these crazy wild conversations like this that we had today. Please consider doing that. It's like $5 a month. It's a better split than the Twitch split. And you know, it's a lot of how we pay our bills because it all hits at like the first of the month when we have to pay money to other people. And we try to do things on there to make it worth your while. So please consider going through and doing that. There's also stickers go out to patrons. People got Hot Dog Jeff shirts this week, which is crazy because I keep getting pictures of people wearing them at like their honest to God workplaces, and I don't know that I recommend that, but like that's a thing that's happening. So appreciate all of you and all the things you do. You're amazing and wonderful.
My hands are very dry from this cold.
And,
sorry, I know that was random, but it's a problem.
Well, that's the other thing. If you're up here in the Arctic blast, please, 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 please stay safe. It is like currently, last I saw, it was 3 degrees out. It will get worse, especially tomorrow. So please be mindful of yourself, your house, and your pets, and stay safe, guys. All right. Those are our raid messages. There's one for if you're subscribed, one for if you're with global emotes. If you're not, we're going to go bug Sam, who's playing Valkyria Chronicles. We like Sam a lot. Please be kind to our friends. Let me see if I can find him on the list here. There he is. Be honest, be kind, be useful, live a good fucking life. We will see you. I will be live later today with some Final Fantasy. So I will see you then.
Goodbye.
Bye.